So, welcome all to the next session of this Open House by Paptic event. Packaging tells more than 1,000 pictures. And now this next session is the panel discussion about what are the latest of the latest, what's the new about Paptic material, especially focusing on end-use applications. Here with me in this panel are the Paptic business development team, the Finnish-Italian team, consisting of Katja, Tommi, and Bruno. And a message to the audience, please stay active. I will, let's say, warm up the panelists with a few pre-prepared questions, so they are ready for your punches then. So feel free to throw the questions. I will hear them at the end of this session. So stay active. But now to kick off the question or the discussion with the first question. Hey, what are the new projects, cases that you're working with, what you're discussing with the customers? So Bruno, would you like to start?
Yes, Tuomas, thank you very much, and hello everybody. Yes, well, actually there are several and quite diversified projects we are currently working upon. As we all know, more and more brands and consumers are seeking for solutions to replace plastic films with sustainable and recyclable materials. But more traditional materials are frequently meeting issues on converting equipment or have problems with runnability or durability. We are now concentrating in offering our innovative, bio-based and heat-sealable material, which can effectively replace plastic films typically run on horizontal, vertical flow pack lines, for instance. And currently we are working to develop Paptic-based flow pack solutions to replace films together with a Nordic producer of baby safety items. We are working to replace plastic in the production of bags for ophthalmic lenses, developing other sustainable packaging solution for drill bits for power tools, metal parts, puzzles, toy construction sets, bathroom appliances, electric appliances, many others. These are just a few we are currently working on.
Sounds great. Katja, Tommi, would you like to add on that?
Sure. Good afternoon, everybody. I would say not to forget the, traditional end uses like the carrier bags and the mailers with the fresh twist.
And Tommi will elaborate a bit more on this session also on that topic. But Katja, hey, throw a question a bit more detailed on you. Speaking of the applications, what are the properties, functionalities of Paptic that makes it so great and viable for those end users, like what Bruno was highlighting?
Yeah, thanks. And hi, everyone. So, of course, we have been discussing about the sustainability. So that is the key when we are evaluating the new materials always. But why Paptic fits to these end uses in product packaging so well is, of course, the fact that it's so strong, even when being lightweight. It is also soft and very textile-like. So it actually works on machines like plastic films. So it turns, it folds, it transforms in a way that plastic films do. And therefore it's rather a drop-in solution for many of the packing lines. And we have actually been told by many of our cooperation partners that there is no other fiber-based solution on the market which would fold in a way that plastics do, and is rather unique setup. So that is the key of entering these end uses.
Sounds good, and that's what Paptic's made of. Bruno, Katja, Bruno, Tommi, any comments on top of that?
Yeah, I would say that the combination of really the unique softness, the actual strength and adaptivity of the material. We have had excellent cases already today from the pillow packaging, that they truly explain the multi and reuse and the flexibility of the packaging itself.
But basically, if you're talking about the kind of Paptic adaptability or compatibility with the converting lines, so kind of what that means in practice, then can you elaborate more details, please?
Well, it means that customers can replace plastic with Paptic on the very same line which are currently used. And there is very little need of, actually there's no need of investment and very little need of adjustments in the machine. So practically it's a drop-in solution. Paptic is something that you can use without investing much time and without investing much money to find the right setup. So this is something that anybody using currently plastic films can use without any particular change.
Exactly. Sounds really good, and the easier it is to take into use, kind of the better, of course. But bit elaborating on further on this kind of advantages, why Paptic, why in this application especially. So elaborate more, please. Details.
Yeah, with so in practice, by using Paptic sealable materials, the customers can effectively replace plastic, preserving and improving three main things. One is sustainability. So Paptic, being based on renewable sources, it's fully recyclable paperboard stream. So this is the first point, sustainability. Second is the production effectiveness. And Paptic is running, as I said, on most of the existing lines with no adjustment, with minimal adjustment. You can produce flow packs like this with no issue at all. Just place a Paptic reel on the machine, on the flow pack lines, and off you go. And then third is packaging performance. So because Paptic is extremely strong, durable, puncture resistant, crease resistant, and does have, as we have seen previously, excellent printability. So this is something that actually can be really run on the machines or several kind of packaging system, with preserving these three main features: sustainability, production effectiveness, and packaging performance. Of course, that depends on the actual lines we are talking about and the actual product we are talking about. And we can, of course, elaborate more and go into detail with our customers, but these three pillars are always fulfilled.
Yeah, and let's not forget about the brand, because of course, Paptic is unique material and it looks different, it feels different, and it really pops the packaging out of the shelf. So it's a luxury package, it's a luxury feel. So it really shows a new type of an approach for the brand to tackle these plastic issues. So that is a value itself.
Exactly. Tommi, would you
yes,
like to add to that?
Again, as a small reminder that of course all the three R's are there, like been explained today. So Paptic is renewable, recyclable, and reusable.
R.
Precisely.
Exactly, well summarized. And as they say, as the old saying does, so the package is the silent salesman of ours. So I think the kind of unique differentiated touch and feel is exactly that. But perhaps to jump into kind of more specific cases, drilling a bit deeper on those. Tommi, hey, should we focus on bags? As you showed the three R's on the side of the bag. So as the function, kind of the strength of Paptic can be also kind of utilized, the properties in multi and reuse application for bags. So can you elaborate on that? Because it's an excellent example of circular by design.
Thank you, Tuomas. Sure, I will. We have all seen that Helsinki area, for example, we have excellent cases with the Stockmann bags and also Sokos and for the Stockmann. And if you look at how to say summertime, people go to beach multi-using our bags. It's very, how to say, seeable even in a public transport. So things are being changed. That is something that we see every day. And we have extended now this further thinking into Southern Europe. We have, for example, cases now with Innovaciones Subetica in Spain for the supermarkets, where they have put really excellent folding, how to say, instructions to the bags to make a nice package to be reused, and even it's possible to use a Paptic reusable sticker to make it last. So I can show you, like, this bag here is actually 10 times reused, and it's relatively easy, I would say, after some couple of minutes practice to regain it into the original package. So
you know it by heart.
You should have a folding school.
but sometimes the most, how to say, circular solution is too obvious, because
Exactly.
this hasn't been earlier possible really with the regular, how to say, craft papers, for example, because it's too stiff. It's really unfoldable as such, and we have maybe used this in plastics back, but now they are more or less banned. So this would be an extremely good case, and we have also this thing coming up now in Italy for the supermarkets and also France. So extremely good example, and truly we can say that the number of the reuses drastically reduces the environmental footprint. So, for example, the bag I showed you, if you really reuse it 10 times, so that will have a huge positive handprint, also based on the fact that there will be 10 times less new material consumed, whether it's plastics, whether it's paper.
That's true. That's true. I recall from our discussions one word: pocketability. So being able to fold the bag in such a small space that it fits your jeans pocket. And it's just kind of so practical questions that enable the reusability of the bags. And it's a good example of what Paptic kind of unique intrinsic properties can enable. But Tommi, to continue, we all know that now in the past 2 years, and still in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, the shopping habits of all of us have changed and radically transformed towards e-commerce. So we know that our materials work also well in those applications, but can you elaborate a bit more on that area, and what's your kind of vision and view on where the e-commerce market is going?
Thank you, Tuomas. Yes, like we all know, we have won the World Star Award with the Stockmann mailers, 3 sizes, which I presented last year, 2021, and this story is ongoing, and it's truly an amazing example of using a very low weight material to save material used, and truly we have a, how to say, next generation, how to say, understanding of the material. We have been today discussing with the design agencies and the partners that how to combine, for example, to use even lighter material on the online delivery and garment packaging solutions. And there really we can say that the softness and the adaptivity of the Paptic material really enables the brands to forget the poly bags and the separate rigid mailers. So we can have one Paptic pack, which is actually replacing the classical plastic poly bags and how to say, higher material demanding craft paper bag. And this is extremely good case now with the H&M brand COS. So they have found a perfect balance between the packaging functionality, the softness of the material, and the sustainability in its newly designed t-shirt pack. And this new Paptic packaging solution is now in use globally at COS, both online and in physical stores.
Excellent. So go to the COS stores and get your Paptic sample today. But to elaborate, so as discussed, Paptic is adaptable to many supply chains. So as we know also that Paptic can be made heat sealable and heat sealable grades are available. So Katja would like to elaborate on the same applications that Tommi was highlighting. What kind of machines and processes can also be used to convert these heat sealable grades into like mailers and polybags?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I was just trying to, or wondering if I should make a note that if you have a heat sealable machine, don't worry, we also have a material for you. And in some cases also, for example, in these end uses of simple bags or polybags, in some cases heat sealable clothing is preferred solution due to tamper protection, for example. Mm-hmm. So therefore we have the option to offer also for these kind of end uses the material. And of course, the Paptic aim is to fit on all machines which are able to use either fiber-based materials or the plastic-based materials. So this is the aim.
Mm-hmm. That's good. But then again, grilling to the details. So, well, who are the companies, the partners who can actually have these processes, can produce those samples? So can you kind of give some examples on some name dropping?
Sure. There are more and more, but for example, we can mention Rovi Packaging in Spain, Karlverpackungen in Germany are companies producing bags, which are very familiar with Paptic grades.
That's good. That's good. So we have already plenty of partners who are familiar with our materials, but Katja showed like smaller samples, polybag samples, but can you also make mailers, like bigger mailers with heat sealable grades?
Sure thing. And if you have been watching the event closely, even during the coffee breaks, you might have seen a video with the Paptic material running on a Backpack Automaten lines. So Backpack Automaten is a producer of online packaging solutions. And here, for example, we can pack all sorts of different shapes and sizes of goods. Here we have, for example, a box in Paptic material. So kind of a collective items in these online mailers. And again, the benefits of Paptic material in these end uses are the strength, lightweight, and the multi-use kind of our material. So endure sharp corners, can handle almost anything.
That's good. That's good. And if I understand correctly, Katja, can you elaborate? So can the machine also like tailor the size of the pack for the goods? So it's not like pre-made sizes, but it can be made to fit. So basically, again, really resource efficient solution.
That's exactly correct.
Very good. Very good. Perhaps then digging deeper into some of the Paptic grades. So during last year, Paptic as a company, we also launched 2 product families on the market, and especially going for this product packaging area. Paptic Apples product family was launched last year, and there's some interesting openings, not only for this kind of retail packaging, but also the food packaging area. So Katja, turning again to you, could you elaborate on that one?
Sure, I can, and turning to me mainly because I have all the samples here at the desk, so which I can show. But the one rather interesting case is an onion package we have created. And this is, again, like Bruno told, material is fitting nicely on flow pack lines. And this is a very standard pillow pack type of a pouch. And yeah, this is something that we learned during the process, that as Paptic material is breathable, there are actually rather big amount of goods which benefit from breathability. And here the onions actually have a longer shelf life. They stay fresh longer when packed in Paptic than in traditional packages.
That's good. And as probably most of the audience has already read about that case on our social media channels, but there's also other sustainability twists or advantages of that particle package. So Katja, could you further elaborate on those ones?
Yeah, actually the most important and interesting part of this package is that it was a joint cooperation with Marvaco and Flint Group. We actually took a lot of different sustainable aspects into account when creating this package. So for example, Marvaco is a leading packaging pre-media company and flexoplate supplier in Nordic area. And they are the developers and forerunners of this greener printing thinking. And this package was created in a way that we reduced the amount of inks used without compromising the print quality. And further on, we chose the inks from Flint Group selection, which are water-based and cradle-to-cradle certified. So truly looking at the package in as a total, not only certain parts of it. And we also communicate this to the consumers. So there is a lot of instructions and story about how package was made, with whom, and how to recycle on the back. And of course, I can talk hours of this package. So sorry.
You love the onion package.
Yes, I am, because it's also an excellent example of how 1 kilo weight is now packed in a 45 grams material. It can hold the weight really well. It can handle even the rough handling, puncture resistant. So this is an end use which kind of combines all the best features of Paptic material. And by the way, it's the onions rattling, not the material.
Good note. Hey, Katja, there was actually during this session a question from the audience on what's the Paptic solution for packing of food products, especially dry products or even liquids. I think we now saw the case of the onions, but can you elaborate on that? What's the kind of take on different food items, how to pack them in Paptic, and what's our proposal?
Sure thing. So as a Paptic material is a fiber-based, it's paper, to put it blunt, only better, but it can be treated in all the same ways as paper. So the protection is on the same level as paper. So dried goods which do not need barrier can be packed directly to Paptic material. Then the more complicated products, which would actually need grease protection, oxygen protection, or moisture protection, need converting partner to be contacted. And we have actually a wide network of partners which we are working. But in each case, the goods what we want to pack in need to be evaluated case by case. So we kind of cannot offer a direct solution, for example, for meat packaging, because we need to understand a bit more what it would require from the material.
That's true. Another question from the audience actually was related to the poly bags, because today, as they are clear plastic and transparent, do you see that as an obstacle, or what's your kind of take on the poly bags? I think Tommi and Katja both kind of referred to the kind of poly bag e-commerce mailer type inner packaging. So how to address that?
I would say even today we have rather low grammages. I would say 35 to 40 GSM Paptic materials coming on different grades, and of course the material is like semi-transparent, and like seen with the existing solutions, it's rather easy to how to say to put also like a sample print of the material packed in, and we have like this in between solutions to replace the fully transparent. options.
Exactly. Something to add? I think that's well said. So I think it's clear Paptic will never be transparent and fully clear because it's fiber-based, and if it wouldn't be fiber-based, we wouldn't have the recyclability. So
like any other paper.
Exactly. But another question, I think perhaps this is to Bruno. There was a question regarding converting of Paptic. Can they be welded or just glued? So I think we already can touch upon that subject, but to further elaborate, just to make sure the audience.
Yeah. Well, our material are available in plain version and its sealable version. So the plain version can be easily glued and converted into packaging or bags or any kind of product on lines which are gluing the material, or in the sealable version, as I said, can be run on lines which are using its sealability technologies. Of course, its sealability needs to be assessed depending on the technology in place, but for instance, on flow pack lines, horizontal flow pack lines, and most of the vertical flow pack lines, the material is working, as I said earlier, as a drop-in solution.
Exactly. And that's the major advantage of our material. So that's how they've been designed from the beginning. But
correct.
Now coming to the tough questions, the audience wants to know about economics. There was a question about how much Paptic cost versus plastics, and I think we all know that it depends on the application. It depends, but can you speculate on some cases on the kind of cost of Paptic and basically the value of Paptic?
I think I answered to the chat already earlier today about the one case where we actually had a kind of a rather long chain of evaluating different materials. And that was a case about a rather complicated wicket bags, which is made on a kind of a preformed pouch. And here, of course, LDP is a cheap material. I should say widely available, which is not the case today, maybe
anymore,
but used to be at least. And in that evaluation, Paptic pouch, so the actual preformed packaging pouch cost around 3 times more than the LDP made pouch. But as I wrote down, we evaluated also a biofilms, so bio-based plastics, or biocompostable plastics actually, and also craft paper made pouches, and those were even more expensive. And that was coming from the fact that we lost production efficiency because they did not fit directly to that converting line where we were operating. And that creates actually extensive costs if we either need to invest or if we need to slow down the processes of packing. So in this evaluation, Paptic was actually the second cheapest option.
That's good. And I think that's true. You should not look at the material price per kilo, not even the material price per square meter, which is more relevant than the kilos, but still you need to look at the whole cost of converting. And I think also more and more from the sustainability perspective, the cost of the materials in the package in the life cycle as a whole. And I think we are soon coming to the end of this session. So one final question to all of you. What is your kind of favorite Paptic case or application from the sustainability impact point of view, where we are creating the kind of best impact on this kind of planet? So who wants to start?
Well, or do you?
Oh no, go ahead.
Yeah, I think we should tackle first the kind of the packages where the package is only holding things together, not really protecting or increasing the shelf life, but really just holding things as a bundle. And I used the opportunity here to show this one case, which is now released by Fisher Technique. So here actually the content of traditionally plastic toys is now bio-based, and also the whole package is now bio-based. So typically in this toys sector, the outer box is cardboard box, but inside is filled with small plastic pouches. And this is, I think, the ingenious way of replacing plastic. So here we have Paptic material inside in the form of pouches, keeping the pieces together. So this is one extremely good case example. Puzzles, toys, you name it.
Exactly.
As
Whatever.
I said, if I may add very quickly, I mean, anybody familiar with Flowpack packaging, like this one, for instance, a very typical Flowpack packaging. Anybody familiar with that knows there are thousands of products, several thousand products packed in Flowpack films. And on those lines, easy solution is to replace that with plastic, which is the unique only fiber material which is actually running on those lines with no adjustments. So this would create a very big impact on from sustainability point of view.
Well said. How about Tommi?
Yeah, that was a really tricky one because I had some on my mind, but that is only due to confidentiality. I can only discuss on the next open house, but it is related to the packaging. Just to give you a small teaser, but personally, I would like to have this like classical spin-off thinking, and I will stay on this reusable bags. So it's my favorite with the Paptic reusable sticker.
with the folding school. Well done. So I would like to give warm thanks to all of the panelists. You served quite well. Thanks for the good discussion. Thanks for the audience for the great questions. This session now is over, and next there will be a short coffee break. And after the coffee, there will be Emma Salminen from LCA Consulting about LCA, a very interesting, relevant topic for the theme of today. So thank you for the attention. Stay active in the chat, and let's continue the great event.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.